Today we're going to be looking at an amazing artist, and then we're going to create our own self-portrait in a similar style. The artist is Kehinde Wiley. He's a Nigerian-American artist. You can see in his portraits he likes to use vibrant colours, floral designs, and he has intricate details in his portraits. He took inspiration from William Morris. In one interview with The Guardian, he said, "I took the DNA of William Morris and created hybrids." Here you can see some examples of William Morris's wallpapers that you can buy online today. He also created the official portrait of Barack Obama. He's also done portraits of other celebrities like Michael Jackson. Okay, so we've seen a few different examples of the artist's work. Now we can try and create our own self-portrait. So I found this handout online. You might want to print it off or leave it on the screen to one side. It explains the proportions of the face. We need to draw our face. So you can see in front of me I've got a mirror, so I can see my whole face and just my neck and shoulders. And we're going to start by drawing a simple oval shape in the middle of the page. So an oval is like a squashed circle. Bit like an upside down egg, think about it. You want a little bit of a point for your chin, not too pointy. Okay, so once you've got that shape, then you've just got to remember that the eyes go in the center, so you can draw really faint line. You probably can't even see that because it's so faint little curved line where my eyes are going to go. And then halfway between the eye line and the chin is where the nose is going to go, the tip of the nose. So I'm going to do a tiny little line there. And then halfway between the tip of the nose and the chin is where the middle of our mouth is going to be. So I'm going to put that there. I'm not sure if you can see that, but I'll add some pictures as well. Okay, so now I can look at my face and I can see that my eyes, my ears match where my eyes are. So the top of my ears are where my eyes are. So I could, where that line is, just draw the top of my ear in that side. And I can't see it on the other side, but I'm going to put it in anyway. Okay. And then I can see that my bottom of my ear meets up with just below where my nose is. So I've got long ears. So I'm going to do a little ear there. That looks funny at the moment because I haven't got any hair. But then I can see my other ear goes to the same place. So I'm going to do it where my nose is. It's about there. Okay, great. So I've got two ears. Now I can work on my eyes. I always think eyes are a good place to start, because if you get them wrong and you have to start again, then you haven't wasted time on the rest of the face. Okay, so my eyes are going to go, that circle, the iris, the coloured bit of your eye, is going to go just beneath that line. Just do a nice light circle for just the coloured bit we're looking at the moment. Okay, so we've got two circles, looks a bit funny, a bit like a cartoon. And now I can draw my eyelids in. So I've got one going across the top and one going across the bottom. So I'm going to arch it over the top, and I'm going to do a little one under the bottom there as well. Looks a bit funny still, but it doesn't matter. Do the other side. There we go. It looks funny because on your eyelid you can see where it meets your eye, and then you've got a little crease above it. So I'm going to add that in now. A little crease above my eye there. and it looks a bit different on that side, so I'm going to do it like that. And then my eyebrows, so I can see the little curve inside my nose, like in between my eyes and nose. So I'm going to draw a little curve there, and my eyebrow tends to meet up with that. So eyebrows, I've got funny shaped eyebrows, look. And my other one looks different because I'm looking up at my mirror, but anyway. Right, so I'm going to draw my curve in again, just very lightly, and then I'm going to do my eyebrow up. This one arches up quite high actually. I'm going to draw it as I see it, exactly as I see it. They don't match, but that's okay because our faces don't match. It's not meant to match, we're not symmetrical. So we've got our eyebrows now, and our eyes. Okay, we don't need any more detail on the eyes just yet, we'll get back to detail later. Now I'm going to move down to my nose, and I can see in the mirror the tip of my nose is just here, a round bit. Then I've got the nostrils, darker bit here, and then I can see the edge of my nose wrapping around, coming around like that. It's a bit shaded around there, but I'm not going to do any shading yet. I'm just drawing in little simple lines. So it looks a bit funny at the moment. Right, draw my nostrils in a bit more, because the way I'm looking at the mirror I can really see them. Okay, so that's my nose, and then I can see a little shadow underneath my nose above my lips. I don't know if you can see it on yours. I've got a little shadow like this in the middle where my lips meet. Okay, and then above my lip line, because that, you've got to imagine that's like the middle of your mouth. So I'm talking at the moment, so I'm going to stop when I'm looking, but it's easier, and I shouldn't tell you what's easiest, but it's easier if you're not smiling or you're not showing your teeth. If your face is relaxed, that's the best way to draw yourself. Okay, so I'm going to close my mouth and I'm going to draw my top lip, and it's going to look a bit like the letter M squashed out. Okay, so I'm going to start with the middle. Looks like a little V, and then it just goes out. There you go, can you see it looks like an M? Okay, when my mouth's closed, I can see that it's not a straight line. It's actually a bit bumpy in there, so I'm going to turn that little line a bit bumpy where I can see it on my lips, and then I'll add my bottom lip in, and that's just one nice curved line. There we go. That is Mrs. Teal with no detail and no hair. Okay, now the hair is where people often go wrong because everyone often, I've got an example one here, people will often draw the hair on here. They'll just go down the side and then they'll add it on top like that. Okay. Now, if I did that, my forehead's very big, and I don't think my forehead's that big. And that's because I didn't bring my hairline down. You're meant to bring it down to about here. Okay, so I'm going to do it on my one here. And I've got a headband on, which is great because I can see where the top of my head is, and the top of my head is where this line is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my headband in first. And I can see my bow there, and it's coming up the top there. Now, because I've done that, I can see, and I'll draw the actual arch of my headband in as well. Right, I cannot see any hair above it, above my headband, but I can see hair below it. So I'm going to start, that looks funny, that's just one hair, but once you've drawn quite a few in, it starts to make sense. So I can see hair going up and under my hairband, like so, and I can see some coming down the side of my face and actually covering up my ear. So it's lucky I drew my ear in earlier, because I can see now that it's covered with my hair, right? And I can see a bit of headband here. I'm going to just draw that in. And then I can see my hair coming out quite crazily out the side here. So I'm going to be quite flowy with my pencil lines. That's not all straight. My hair's wavy today. And I can see it coming round my ear and down my neck as well. Right, that's that side. And I can't see my neckline, so I'm not going to draw it in. Okay, so this side, I can see my neckline. And people often want to draw their neck here, like a little skinny neck. But you've got to remember, your neck is holding your head up. So it's actually a lot wider than you think. It actually comes out of your jawline here. Okay, it does curve in, so I can see my neck starts here, and then it curves in a bit, and it comes out, and it's then into my shoulders. Okay, and I can see my hair around the front of my headband, but it's tucked behind my ear. And then it's coming out quite a bit as well on this side. And that's going behind my shoulder. So I'm just going to draw a few details there to make it look like hair. Less is more when you're drawing hair. Okay. Now I can draw some details in. I've got my face. I think that looks pretty good. It's kind of like me. Can you tell it's me? Anyway, I think you can't tell it's me because it hasn't got my wrinkles on my forehead. So I need to draw some of those in. And I need to draw my pupil in the middle of my eye. I'm not going to colour my eye in yet because this isn't a colouring pencil. So, and I can draw just a couple of eyelashes because I can see a couple. Don't do your eyelashes up to your eyebrows unless they really are going to your eyebrows, then you can, but it will look more realistic if you don't do them all the way up. And I can see I've got a bit of shading around my here because then my laughing lines, I laugh a lot. And I've got a little shadow on my chin there, and I hate to say it, but I have got a few wrinkles under my eyes. You probably won't have that at your age. Okay, I'm happy with that. So now I've got a V-neck dress on today, so I'm just going to draw a V, and then I'm going to have my shoulders just coming off the bottom of the page. Okay, so that's my portrait, and that's hard work. That was hard work doing that. But now I want to try and make it look like my artist's portraits. And he always does these fabulous backgrounds. I'll show you some examples, but he does these amazing backgrounds, and they're very often floral patterns, and they also look a little bit like wallpaper. Okay, so I've got these handouts. They're not handouts, you can have them up on your screen. I've got my computer next to me as well. And on them is a step-by-step guide on how to draw 2 different flowers. If you know how to draw your own flowers, then fine, go do your own flowers. That's brilliant. But if you struggle a little bit with flowers, or you want to learn how to draw a new flower, then you could use these guides. So I'm going to do both of them in mine, so you can see how it's done. Okay, so I'm going to start with this one, which I think is slightly simpler than this second one. Okay, so the first one, I'm going to think about where I'm going to do them. I'm going to maybe do one here and one. I want it to look like a wallpaper, so I'm going to do one down here, one here, and one here just behind my shoulder. Okay. Now you can see it's almost like an eye shape, isn't it, that comes out of that circle. So I'm going to draw one, going to a point and coming back to a point. Right, next to it, and I only need 3, so I want to space it out well. So out to a point. And there we go. And then the last one, and you can move your paper around if it's easier. I find it is. And then one more coming out there to a point and back in. Brilliant. So my next stage is I have to draw in between those three. It's coming out of the back, so it's not coming out of the circle anymore, it's coming out the back of the petals. So out here to a point and back to the next petal, and I'll do one here as well, out to a point and back to that petal, and one here as well to a point and back. And again, it's like the face, they don't have to all be matching. Flowers aren't always symmetrical, they're all individual. So then it's got some details on there as well. So 2 lines and little dots on the end, 2 lines and little dots on the end, 2 lines and little dots on the end. Oh, that looks so pretty. And then it's got these lovely leaves. They don't have to come out the same side. I'm going to have mine coming out here, going down like this. And then you're going to do the same shape as the petals, but for the leaves. So it's going from a point, curved to a point, back. From a point, curved to a point, back. And actually, I'm going to draw one on the end. And then I'll know how far to go. Oh, it's harder to do it on the other side. I'm going to do 2 little ones here because I think it'll look better. Cool, I'm happy with that. And then it's got some other little dangly flower bits coming out. That says go that side. I'm going to do mine this side because I think it'll look better. So 1. And then other lines coming out of it, 2, 3, 4. And then little circles on the top of those. Oh, I'm quite happy with that. I'm quite happy with that. Right, so then I'm going to do the same here. And the same here. And I'm going to try and match it and do it over and over again. Okay, so then I'm going to do this one. This one's a bit more difficult, so I might only do a couple of these. So I'm going to do one in the middle there. I'm going to do one over here, and maybe I'll do one there as well. Okay, so this one's slightly different. It's got 4 petals to start with, and it's not going to a point, it's going to a jagged edge. So you do a curved line out and then you wiggle your pencil like that. Curved line out, wiggle your pencil. Curved line out, wiggle your pencil. Curved line out, wiggle your pencil. There you go. Right, so that's the first one done. And then it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 petals behind that. And they're spaced out differently. So it's not coming directly out behind, it's going over the gap. So out, down, out, down. Cool, I'm happy with that. And then basically you just keep doing that again. So it's okay, so here I realised that actually I should have, instead of using normal pencil, I should have used colouring pencil straight away. So what I've done now is I've used purple for the outline of my flower, and then I used pink for the inside of the petals. And then with the leaves, I'm using a darker green for the stem and the outlines of the leaves and the details. And then I'm colouring it in with a lighter green. I found that this is a slightly better finish. So, and it's a little bit easier and quicker. So you might want to do it that way. Oh yeah, also this artist tends to have flowers on the actual person as well, so try and include one overlapping you at some point as well. So for this flower, I used a dark blue for the outline and details. I used a light blue for the petals, and then I used a normal green for the outlines of the leaves and the details. And I actually coloured those leaves in with a bit of yellow just to make it look a little bit different. Okay, so when you colour in your face, I would like you to try and use 3 different colours. One light colour for all the light areas and where the light's shining on you. One medium colour, and that'll be for all the mid-tones. And then a darker colour for all the shadows and the finer details on your face. With the hair, you can use a darker pencil to do like the detailed lines and the outline of the hair, and then use a lighter colour to colour it in. Just makes it stand out a little bit more, makes it look a little bit more 3D. You can do it with the same colour pencil and instead do a light pressure for the colouring in and a hard pressure for the details. The final touches should be colouring in your eyes, your lips, and going over the edges of your eyes and any other details you think might need going over. And there you have it. You've got your own self-portrait inspired by Kehinde Wiley. Well done, everyone. I can't wait to see what you've done. Make sure you send them in to me so I can give you some feedback. All right. Thanks. Bye.